You won't believe what happened when a Karen literally thought she could just walk into my house and claim it as hers. Like, sit down, grab your popcorn, because this isn't your average HOA drama. This is next-level, jaw-dropping chaos that's equal parts hilarious and infuriating. Picture this: a woman in heels, clipboard in hand, walking onto my property like she owns it, all because she convinced herself my house was abandoned. Yes, abandoned. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. It all started on a sunny Tuesday morning. I had just finished my second cup of coffee, scrolling through emails and trying to ignore the loud construction across the street when a neighbor texted me, "Hey, Karen from the HOA was looking at your house again, peeking in the windows." At first, I laughed. HOA drama usually just involves passive-aggressive letters about lawn height or mailbox colors, right? Wrong. This was next level. By noon, I noticed something suspicious. My security camera, which I installed to catch the neighborhood squirrels stealing my birdseed, was showing a woman pacing my driveway, not just pacing. She was measuring the distance between my porch and the mailbox with a tape measure, like she was surveying land for a new amusement park. And she wasn't subtle. She even waved at a couple of pedestrians, as if to say, "Yep, I own this now." Curiosity got the better of me. I walked outside and called her name. "Excuse me, can I help you?" She jumped like I'd scared a raccoon, looked at me like I was trespassing in my own driveway, and said with absolute confidence, "I'm just checking on an abandoned property for the HOA." I blinked twice and then 3 times. Did she just call my house abandoned while I was standing in front of it holding a cup of coffee? Normally, I'd laugh it off, but she didn't stop there. Later that afternoon, I got a knock on the door. Not the casual knock you'd expect from a neighbor borrowing sugar. This was a full-on dramatic knock, like she was announcing the coronation of a new HOA queen. I opened the door to find her standing there with a set of keys. Wait for it. Claiming the previous owner left them behind and that she was now entitled to inspect the house. Inspect my house. My very lived-in, definitely not abandoned house. What happened next makes me shake my head even now. She tried to walk inside, literally step in as if I was the one trespassing. I blocked her with my arm and asked, "Do you have legal paperwork?" She paused dramatically, tilted her head like a confused puppy, and said, "Well, I haven't brought it, but I can call my supervisor." At this point, I'm laughing because the audacity is unreal, but also panicking because I'm thinking, is she actually going to try to move in while I'm on my couch? So I did what anyone would do. I grabbed my phone, pointed it at her, and said, "Okay, smile. Show a Karen you're about to go viral." Suddenly, she froze. You could see the gears turning in her head. I could practically hear the internal monologue. Maybe this isn't going to go as planned. But she didn't leave. Instead, she pulled out a clipboard and started taking notes on my living room decor. I swear she was jotting down my coffee table books and throw pillows. At that moment, I realized this isn't about HOA rules. This is personal. This is war. Then I remembered something crucial. My house has the world's loudest doorbell system. One push, and it's like a rock concert in the living room. Naturally, I pressed it. She jumped so high I half expected her shoes to fly off. That's when I finally got her attention, but also it's when she escalated. She pulled out her phone, and started recording me like she was going to make me look crazy. And this is how the real fun begins. Think about it. A grown adult convinced she can claim someone else's home, pacing, measuring, and now recording the resident while shouting about HOA rules. It's the perfect storm of audacity and comedy. The neighbors, they're peeking from behind curtains, whispering, and probably placing bets on whether she'd get arrested or ask for snacks next. By the end of the day, I knew something had to be done. But little did she know, I had a few tricks up my sleeve. Tricks that would make her regret ever thinking my house was abandoned. Tricks involving community witnesses, phone calls, and maybe, just maybe, a live stream twist that no HOA member could ever imagine. Just when I thought I'd seen it all, things got even more ridiculous. After her failed attempt to inspect my house, she apparently decided that subtlety wasn't her thing. She went full and dramatic. The next morning, I spotted her peeking over my fence again, this time with a pair of binoculars, muttering something about documenting abandonment. Documenting my house that I live in. It's like living next to a reality show you didn't sign up for. Not wanting to miss a second of this, I grabbed my phone and started recording. And that's when the first shock hit. She spotted me and immediately started waving like she wasn't being caught spying. But the best part, she didn't just wave politely. She waved the clipboard in the air, stumbled over a garden gnome, and fell right onto her own flower bed. You have to imagine the slow-motion comedy of it. Karen flailing, flowers flying, and me trying not to laugh so hard I dropped my phone. Naturally, I had to step in. Are you okay?" I asked, half concerned, half trying to contain laughter. She shot me a look like I was interrupting her pullets or worthy investigation. Then she straightened up, brushed dirt off her skirt, and proudly proclaimed, "I'm fine, but this property is clearly abandoned. I need to finish my inspection." At that moment, it hit me. This was officially a full-blown obsession. Things escalated even further when she decided to stage a neighborhood HOA meeting on my front lawn. Yes, she invited herself, set up lawn chairs, and even brought a little whiteboard to mark her findings. The neighbors peeked from their windows, whispering and giggling, probably wondering if this was some kind of twisted flash mob. Meanwhile, Karen starts making dramatic speeches to imaginary people, pointing at my porch like it's some kind of haunted monument. I couldn't help myself. I snuck out and started live streaming. And oh, the shock factor just kept coming. Halfway through her speech, a squirrel ran across her whiteboard, knocking her notes to the ground. She screamed. Not the kind of scream that makes you wonder if the HOA handbook secretly requires a soundproofing section. She spun around like she was attacked by a wild beast, completely forgetting she was on my lawn illegally. My viewers, they were loving every second, dropping laughing emojis and comments like, "Karen meets squirrel," "Karen loses dignity." Then came the most unexpected twist of all. She somehow decided that taking selfies in front of my door would make her case stronger. But she didn't realize I had installed a doorbell camera with motion-triggered lights. Every time she pressed the button for a professional photo, it went off like a mini disco. Suddenly, she's flailing, trying to pose, while lights flash in her eyes. At this point, my neighbors were openly laughing from their windows. Even my mailman paused mid-delivery to watch the chaos unfold. Things got downright shocking when she tried to pull the ultimate move, sneaking into my garage. I swear, this is not exaggeration. She opened the garage door just a crack and peeked inside like she was auditioning for a heist movie. That's when I yelled, "Hey, you forgot the paperwork." She froze. Then she turned to me with a glare so intense it could power a small city, muttering something about HOA rights while inching back like a cat caught in the dog park. After that, I had to take action. I called my local HOA board, not to report her because, honestly, I knew they'd laugh, but to get a friendly heads up for the neighbors. Then I posted a quick video online showing her shenanigans, tagging the neighborhood watch page. Within hours, everyone was messaging me about the HOA Karen show. And the best part? She had no idea her antics were going viral. By evening, the tension mixed with comedy reached its peak. She tried to argue with a group of neighbors who had gathered to watch, only to be interrupted by a rogue sprinkler system that I had just fixed. Water shot out of nowhere, drenching her perfectly ironed blouse. Her shocked face, soaked hair, and squawking protest made for an unforgettable scene, one that my camera caught from the perfect angle. It was pure, chaotic slapstick justice. And just when I thought she might finally retreat in defeat, she announced, "I will be back tomorrow," like some villain in a daytime soap opera. At this point, I realized this isn't going to end with logic or rules. Oh no. It's going to end with a plan so absurd, so hilarious, that even the HOA couldn't predict it. The next day promised a showdown that was part comedy, part chaos, and 100% shocking. And trust me, the finale, where she learns the true meaning of not abandoned, will have everyone talking for weeks. The next morning, I braced myself. After 2 days of witnessing Karen's HOA obsession turn into slapstick chaos, I knew today was going to be legendary, and I wasn't wrong. She arrived, armed with a clipboard, a suspiciously large stack of papers, and a confidence that could only belong to someone who genuinely believed they could move into another person's home. I decided it was time to escalate my own countermeasures, because if she thought this was just a game, she clearly hadn't met my inner prankster. First, I casually left a few welcome signs around my yard. Nothing overt, just subtle hints like abandoned house, nope, and resident alert, property owner present, all in bright, cheerful lettering. Karen, of course, didn't read signs. She never reads signs. By mid-morning, she started her inspection ritual again, but this time I had strategically placed some surprises. I had set up motion-activated air horns near the front door, strategically hidden behind bushes. Every time she stepped onto my porch, boom, the air horn blared like a fire alarm, making her jump so high she nearly collided with my garden gnomes. She screamed, of course, and as the neighbors peeked through their curtains, I could hear someone shout, "Is this real life?" Things got even crazier when she tried to open my mailbox, convinced she could somehow claim it for evidence. I was ready. Inside, I had replaced my usual mail with a pile of ridiculous items: a glitter-filled balloon, a rubber chicken, and a fake eviction notice that read, "Congratulations, you are now a permanent HOA clown." She opened it, her face a mixture of confusion, horror, and disbelief. The balloon popped, the chicken squawked, her clipboard went flying. It was peak chaos, But the absolute peak of comedy and shock came when she decided to sneak into my backyard. I had installed a temporary sprinkler system disguised as a bush. As soon as she stepped into the danger zone, water jets blasted in every direction, drenching her from head to toe. She spun around, slipping on the wet grass, flailing like a cartoon character, while yelling, "This is harassment." The neighbors couldn't stop laughing. Some even recorded it. And yes, it went viral faster than I could believe. Not done yet. I added one final touch. A life-sized cardboard cutout of myself holding a coffee cup in the doorway, perfectly positioned, so that when Karen ran toward the house again, she thought I was charging at her. Her reaction, pure cinematic gold. She screamed, stumbled over her own feet, and just for dramatic effect, fell into the kiddie pool I had placed nearby as a prank. Splash, water everywhere. It was as if the universe itself was delivering slapstick justice. By the afternoon, she was soaked, humiliated, and completely defeated. The neighbors cheered. The squirrels watched approvingly, and I finally decided to intervene with words instead of pranks. "Look," I said calmly, "this house is not abandoned. You cannot just move in. You are welcome to visit, but please, no more theatrics." She glared at me, muttered something about HOA rules, and stormed off like a hurricane of anger and wet hair. The aftermath was even better. Within hours, my story and videos spread throughout the neighborhood. HOA members were calling me laughing and thanking me for exposing the over-the-top behavior of a rogue Karen. Even the local news caught wind of it, and suddenly my 2-day saga became a cautionary tale about what happens when someone confuses obsession with ownership and the absolute cherry on top. Later that week, I received a handwritten apology from Karen herself, delivered by a flustered assistant who could barely hide his laughter. The note was full of awkward compliments about my creativity and promises to follow HOA rules in the future. Of course, I framed it next to the rubber chicken and glitter balloon as a reminder that audacity only goes so far when faced with cleverness, patience, and a sprinkling of chaos. So, next time someone tells you a house is abandoned, maybe check the mailbox, the sprinklers, and the squirrels first, because sometimes justice doesn't just come with rules. It comes with air horns, water jets, and a perfectly timed rubber chicken. And that, my friends, is how an HOA Karen learned that some houses and their owners aren't to be trifled with. Friends, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon, because your single subscribe means a lot to us and gives us the motivation to keep bringing more stories for you. That way, you won't miss our next story.